Okay, so hello, good morning everybody. So for today's presentation, we're going to discuss the 7 management function model by Gulick and Urwick's administrative management theory. So before that, we'll be defining first the Posdcorb. So it is an acronym widely used in the field of management and public administration that reflects the classic view of administrative management. So the Posdcorb stands for the 7 management functions model. So P stands for planning, O for organizing, S for staffing, D for directing, CO for coordinating or controlling, R for reporting, and B for budgeting. So each of these functions will be discussed later on after the planning by my learning group members. The letter P denotes the plan. Planning is the process of making well thought out decision about the purpose of a task, the process or procedures to be followed. A plan seeks the answers to a few questions. Since no organization can move in the right direction without a plan is essential for performance. There are different levels of planning, such as decision-making, determination of objectives, adoptions of policies, formulation and promotion of programs, setting of specific procedures, and setting of rules and daily programs. Planning is a first and most important step in the Posdcorb, as it sets the overall structures of the process with activities and timelines. This essentially refers to establishing a broad sketch of the work to be completed and the procedures incorporated to implement them. Okay, so planning precedes every other managerial functions like the organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. The importance of planning in management can hardly be overstated. It is a critical function of projects management. The success of any businesses endeavor greatly depends on the effectiveness of the plan. One of the most important functions of planning is that it helps in managing risk. The ability to predict, prevent, or manage risk and contingencies is an essential need of any business. Also, the importance of planning and management is evident from these various functions that are instrumental in driving an organization's growth and success. Okay, so planning is the first primary function of management that precedes all other functions. The planning function involves the decision of what to do and how it is to be done. So managers focus a lot of their attentions on planning and the planning process. The planning process is concerned with defining a company's goals and determining the resources necessary to achieve those goals. Achieving a vision requires coordinated efforts that adhere to a broader organizational plan. This is enabled through consistent strategies that are supported by staff at all levels. To meet business goals, managers develop business plans not only to reach targets but also to strengthen and change public perceptions of the company's brand. They have achieved defined goals through the planning process. Managers and employees can focus and control their efforts and their resources, follow determined plans of action, coordinated activities between divisions, and use time management to meet specific goals. Planning helps to achieve these goals or target by efficiently and effectively using available time and resources. In short, planning, if executed properly, should lead to the following benefits. First is focus. Second, coordinated action. Third is control, time management, and last one is the process itself. Okay, so a plan can be considered as a good plan if it is capable of helping the managers in achieving the organizational goals. Therefore, there are certain characteristics that should be part of any good plan. First is clear objective. The first requirement of a good plan is that it should be based on the objective that have been clearly defined. As mentioned above, the process of planning is used for achieving the goals of the organization. But if these goals have not been defined clearly, it may result in chaos and confusion. Therefore, it is very important that the organizational objectives should be defined clearly and they should be accurate, concise, and definite. And the second one is proper understanding. A plan can only be implemented effectively if the persons who have the responsibility of executing the plan have a proper understanding of the plan. On the other hand, if these persons are not capable of following the plan properly, or if they do not really understand the ways in which the plan has to be undertaken, it is very difficult for these programs to effectively implement the plan. Therefore, it is very important that the plan should be conveyed to all the persons properly. And at the same time, clarification should also be given if needed. Therefore, another characteristics of a good plan is that it should be properly understood by all the persons who have the responsibility to implement such a plan. Third is comprehensive. Another characteristic of a good plan is that it should be able to cover all the aspects of the business so that the objectives can be achieved properly. The different parts of the plan should fit together, and the purpose as well as the timing of the plan should be arranged in such a way so that the necessary coordination can be achieved. And lastly is flexibility. A good plan is also required to be flexible so that it can deal with any changes that may arise in the future. It is not possible to predict the future with accuracy, and therefore there are always chances that such changes may take place in the future that may have influence on the effectiveness of the plan. Therefore, a flexible plan is capable of dealing with these changes and makes adjustments accordingly. It is very important that the plan is broad enough to accommodate any changes that may arise in the future without compromising the main objectives of the plan. Therefore, the managers should never consider a plan as rigid. They should always be ready to make the changes that may be required as a result of the change in the situation. Okay, so now let's hear the other steps or features of the Posdcorb.
The second management function model is organizing.
This is where you put your plan into action by establishing a system of authority or hierarchy in the context of your organizational structure. Determine the task that needs to be completed to achieve your goals before assigning them to your staff. As opposed to the traditional ways of working, where a manager made all the decisions, today's business world is more dynamic and more flexible. Every member of the organization, regardless of position, shares accountability and responsibility. So, define an organizational structure that aligns with your workplace and assign tasks that map to your team's skills and abilities. You have to get everyone on the same page and delegate the task the way you see fit.
Staffing. This involves recruiting and selecting the right candidates for the job and facilitating their orientation and training while maintaining a favorable work environment. What is the function of staffing? The primary function of staffing is to obtain qualified personnel for different job positions in the organization. In staffing, the right person is recruiting for the right jobs. Therefore, it leads to maximum productivity and higher performance. There are 4 types of staffing. First, short-term staffing. A short-term staffing plan focuses on the immediate needs of the company. For example, if you own a retail store and the holiday shopping season is approaching, your short-term staffing plan would focus on finding additional employees on seasonal basis. Second, long-term staffing. A long-term staffing involves taking proactive approach to your company's staffing needs. Most long-term staffing plans cover at least 1 year. When determining such staffing needs, consider past turnover, employees who may be retiring or taking a maternity or other leave, expected growth, and poorly performing staff members. Third, employee succession planning. Succession planning allows you to fully understand the duties and responsibilities of your management staff so you can train internal candidates to be ready to step into promotion immediately should you experience management turnover. Lastly, strategic staffing. Strategic staffing involves a combination of short-term, long-term, and succession planning according to the staffing agency MTech. This plan takes the company's business plans into account to ensure that goals can be met from a talent perspective.
Hi, so we are now in the 4th management function model, which is the directing. Directing is said to be a process in which the managers instruct, guide, and oversee the performance of the workers to achieve a predetermined goals. Directing is also said to be the heart of the management process. Planning, organizing, and staffing have got no importance if direction function does not take place. For example, if a supervisor guides his subordinates and clarifies their doubts in performing a task, it will help the worker toward the targets that given to him. Okay, Okay, so why does directing important in management? Simply because it is efficient utilization of resources. This help in maximum possible utilization resources of man, machine, materials, and money, which helps in reducing costs and increasing profits. The process of directing involves guiding, coaching, instructing, motivating, and leading the people in an organization to achieve an organizational objectives. It is also the process of telling people what to do and seeing that they do it in the best possible manner.
So the next management function model is the coordinating. So based on the given module, coordinating basically refers to arranging and interlinking the various components of the work. So what I have learned from this model is that it is a measure of success of any organization. This function of management ensures that the different departments and groups work in harmony. So it is an orderly arrangement of efforts aimed at achieving common goals through unity of action. So in the next slide, these are the importance of coordinating. So the first is it helps in achieving organizational goals. Second is it ensures order and discipline. The third is it helps to achieve objectives of any organization. And then the fourth is it helps to minimize organizational problems. These are also the benefits of coordinating. So the first one is you will have a good relationship with your colleagues, and then the second one is to work with peace of mind. The third is you don't need to compete with your colleagues, and then the fourth one, the last, is no pressure. So for me, in any organization or events or programs, I believe that teamwork makes the dream work.
So now let's proceed to the management reporting. So management reporting can be expressed broadly as the reports that management uses to run the organization, makes business decisions, and monitor progress. So management reports help managers monitor small details of their department. Employees submit managerial reports to their managers. So management reporting is a process of providing information to the various levels of management so as to enable in judging the effectiveness of responsibility centers and become a base for corrective measures if necessary. So the scope of management system is wide. It is a means of communicating essential information from high to low levels of management. So management reporting systems help in capturing data that is needed by managers to run an effective business. So data could range from financial data, employees, head count, client accounts, products, clients' assets in custody, and investment performance. So there are 6 reasons why an enterprise needs an effective management reporting system.
My assigned topic is all about budgeting. Budgeting. So budgeting is the process of creating a plan to spend your money. This spending plan is called a budget. Creating this spending plan allows you to determine in advance whether you will have enough money to do the things you need to do or would like to do. Budgeting is simply balancing your expenses with your income. Why is budgeting so important? Since budgeting allows you to create a spending plan for your money, it ensures that you will always have enough money for the things you need and the things that are important to you. Following a budget or spending plan will also keep you out of debt or help you work your way out of debt if you are currently in debt. What about budget forecasting and planning? Once you create your first budget, begin to use it and get a good feel for how it can keep your finance on track. Extending your budget out into the future also allows you to forecast how much money you will be able to save for important things. Using a realistic budget to forecast your spending for the year can really help you with your long-term financial planning. We can then make realistic assumptions about your annual incomes and expense and plan for long-term financial goals like starting your own business.